Aquarius, listen carefully. Something sacred is unfolding above you, something the stars have been holding back for years. Tonight, the Moon and Venus have finally joined hands, and their reunion isn't ordinary. It's prophetic. This cosmic partnership hasn't aligned like this in your chart for a long time, not since the universe first whispered your destiny into motion. And now, they're not here to test you anymore. They're here to reveal who you really are. Picture the sky right now, painted in silver blue light, glowing like a celestial mirror. Every shimmer, every pulse in the air feels alive, because it is. The universe is adjusting its frequency to your soul's vibration. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet stirring inside your chest. It's your real self rising from beneath the noise of the world. For years you've been told who you should be. You've played roles, carried expectations, worn masks that made others comfortable but dimmed your glow. But by October 19th, the Moon and Venus will unmask that version and unveil the authentic blueprint of your soul. This isn't just astrology. This is divine identity activation, a full cosmic reveal. The Moon represents your emotions, your hidden truth. Venus represents love, beauty, and worth. Together, they're turning your inner world into a mirror, forcing you to look, not at what you were told to be, but at who you were born to become. And here's the wild part. When this mirror reveals your reflection, it won't look peaceful at first. It'll look like conflict. You may lose people, outgrow old environments, even question everything you once wanted. But Aquarius, that's not chaos, that's correction. The universe is not breaking you. It's breaking your illusion. It's peeling away every false label, every forced identity, every "you're too much" and "you're not enough" ever thrown your way. You've been misunderstood not because you were lost, but because your energy was ahead of its time. And now, time is finally catching up to you. So breathe in this moment. Feel the shift. The heavenly mirror is opening, and its reflection doesn't lie. It's showing you power, clarity, and truth. Everything you forgot you carried. But here's the twist. The truth about your identity won't appear as comfort. It'll appear as confrontation. The people who once controlled your narrative will start to react. The silence around you will grow louder. But don't panic. That silence is heaven making room for your revelation. Because when the Moon and Venus unite, the world doesn't just see you differently. It feels your energy for the first time. And Aquarius, when that happens, your life will never look the same again. Aquarius, when Venus enters your emotional realm, everything begins to shimmer differently. It's like the air changes temperature, soft, warm, yet electric. She doesn't come to flatter you. She comes to remind you of your value, the kind of worth that doesn't need an audience. For too long, you've been pouring love into empty cups. You've shown up for people who couldn't even recognize your loyalty. You gave compassion to those who mistook it for weakness, forgiveness to those who thought you'd never walk away. But Venus is whispering now, and her voice cuts through illusions like moonlight slicing through dark clouds. She's saying, "You've spent months loving people who couldn't even see your light, but now I'm pulling away their blindfolds, and your reflection becomes undeniable." This is the chapter where self-worth returns like a sunrise. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't need applause. It just rises. You'll start to notice subtle signs. Your energy no longer tolerates half-effort connections. You won't chase tech, explanations, or fake validation. You'll feel peace where you used to feel panic, because Venus is teaching you the difference between attention and affection. Venus moves through your sign like a mirror covered in cosmic dust, polishing, revealing, redefining. Every past heartbreak you survived wasn't rejection, it was refinement. The universe was removing those who could never love the real you, so it could make space for those who can't stop admiring your soul. Visualize this: moonlight dancing on still water, Venus gleaming like a crown made of stars above your head. You're standing in silence, and for the first time, the silence feels like peace, not punishment, because now you're not waiting for anyone to tell you you're enough. You already know you are. Venus wants you to look at yourself differently, not through the lens of comparison or nostalgia, but through the eyes of divine worth. She's peeling away your people-pleaser era. She's reminding you that real love doesn't drain, it refills. And Aquarius, you're finally refilling your own cup. You'll start to glow in new ways, not because you're trying harder, but because you've stopped trying for the wrong eyes. That's the power of Venus. She makes beauty magnetic when it's born from truth. So when the world begins to stare, don't shrink. They're not seeing someone new. They're finally seeing you. Comment prompt. Comment, "I see my true reflection now," if you're ready to reclaim your worth. Because this is what the mirror of Venus is showing you. The glow up isn't about appearance, it's about awareness. The most beautiful thing about you is that you kept shining even when you were unseen. And now, as Venus polishes your heart, you'll notice something miraculous. Those same people who once doubted you, they'll start to circle back. They'll sense the shift. They'll feel your distance, and they'll crave your energy again. But you'll smile gently, not with bitterness, but with understanding. Because you've learned that your peace is priceless, and your worth is not up for negotiation. Retention twist. And Aquarius, the moment you stop chasing validation, the universe starts chasing you. That's how Venus works. She rewards detachment with desire. The more you focus on your alignment, the more everything meant for you starts orbiting closer. Opportunities, recognition, love, they all feel your frequency now. Because Venus doesn't just reflect beauty. She reveals who was worthy of your light all along. Aquarius. Before the portal opens, the moon begins her final test. This is the phase where heaven watches how you respond, not how you react. You may feel old emotions rise again, ghosts of pain you thought you buried long ago, old names, old memories, old wounds. They echo not to haunt you, but to measure your mastery. You might hear those same voices again, the ones that once told you you weren't enough, or that your dreams were too big. You might even feel that old ache in your chest, the one that used to break you down in silence. But this time, you won't crumble. This time, you balance. Old voices might echo, old pains may knock, but this time, you don't break. You balance. Because Aquarius, this is not punishment. This is promotion. The moon doesn't test you to destroy you. She tests you to see if you're ready to reign. The universe can't hand you a crown if you still crave closure from chaos. And that's the hardest lesson for you. Learning that not every ending comes with explanation, and not every apology arrives on time. Sometimes silence is the closure. Sometimes peace is the revenge. Picture this scene. A glowing sky above an ocean of stars. Moonlight drips across your face like silver rain. Every tear you shed tonight turns into stardust, shimmering proof that you've passed another divine exam. You're no longer crying out of pain. You're releasing for alignment. This is where emotional maturity becomes your superpower. In the past, you reacted. Now, you respond. In the past, you sought validation. Now, you trust vibration. In the past, you begged to be understood. Now, you're fine being felt only by the right souls. The moon's lesson is simple but deep. You cannot manifest from a wounded heart. You must manifest from a healed frequency. That's why this week feels heavier, not because you're falling back, but because your soul is recalibrating forward. It's the universe removing what can't travel with your new vibration. Every delay, every distance, every disconnect. It's divine pruning, not punishment. You may feel emotional highs and lows, waves of nostalgia, or sudden bursts of clarity. Don't run from it. Ride it. Let the emotions move through you like cosmic tides. The moon is scrubbing your energy clean, washing away every fear that used to control you. Your tears tonight? They aren't weakness. They're water for your rebirth. You're not breaking anymore. You're bending gracefully under heaven's calibration. And with every breath, your spirit becomes stronger, steadier, sharper. Imagine this. As you sit under that October 19th moon, you realize that your heart no longer beats for the past. It beats for purpose. The things that once hurt you now teach you. The people who once drained you now remind you how powerful it is to protect your peace. That's emotional alignment. It's when you no longer need to prove you've healed. Your energy does the talking. Your calm becomes louder than your chaos ever was. Comment prompt. Comment, I'm mastering my emotions if you feel the moon's test activating your peace. Retention twist. Your tears weren't weakness. They were data for heaven's final upgrade. Every tear recorded, every heartbreak analyzed, every disappointment archived. All of it was input for your divine coding. Heaven has been studying your endurance, refining your algorithm, programming you for miracles. The pain you endured wasn't random. It was the password to your next level. So tonight, as the moon glows above you, remember, she's not watching to judge. She's watching to verify that you finally learned how to protect what you prayed for. You're not the same Aquarius who once begged for understanding. You're the Aquarius who now vibrates in emotional authority, grounded, wise, and magnetic. Because when the moon tests you and finds you calm in the storm, the universe finally says, now they're ready for manifestation. Aquarius, this is the moment the universe stops whispering and starts calling you by name, your real name. Not the one the world gave you, not the one they mispronounced, underestimated, or mocked. The one heaven wrote in your soul long before you took your first breath. On October 19th, the cosmic frequencies will sync with your soul name, not your earth name. And this is why you felt like an outsider your whole life. You weren't misunderstood by accident. You were designed in a frequency few could hear. You speak the language of light, not logic. You walk by intuition, not imitation. And that's exactly why you never fit in. Because you weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to be recognized. You weren't rejected. You were reserved for this alignment. From childhood, you carried an energy that made people uneasy. You dreamed in colors others couldn't see. You felt emotions too deeply for shallow hearts to understand. You loved with depth. You forgave beyond reason. And yet they called you strange, dramatic, too much. But heaven saw what they couldn't. A soul coded for divine revelation. And now, under this rare Moon-Venus alignment, the veil that hid you is lifting. Your true frequency, your heavenly identity, is coming online. Every delay, every heartbreak, every isolation season you went through wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You were hidden in plain sight so that when you rise, no one can take credit for your glow. Visualize it. You, standing alone beneath a silver sky, the moon above, glowing like a mirror of heaven. Your reflection in that light is no longer fractured. It's whole. You finally see what the universe has always seen, a chosen frequency, a divine code, a soul recognized by name. Aquarius, this is the chapter of divine remembrance. Your gifts are reactivating. Your intuition is sharper. Your timing is divine. You're not chasing validation anymore. You're vibrating recognition. The right people, opportunities, and doors are beginning to find you. because they finally recognize your signal. Comment prompt, type, "I'm ready to be recognized" if you feel this prophecy. Because this isn't just a new season, it's your identity unlock. The universe is calling your frequency into visibility. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your energy is being felt by people you haven't met yet. And your purpose is aligning with timing that can no longer be delayed. Retention twist, because when heaven says your name this time, the whole world will hear it. This time, your light won't be dismissed. It'll be demanded. This time, your silence won't be mistaken for weakness. It'll be recognized as power. This time, your name won't echo in gossip. It'll echo in destiny. Heaven is not introducing a new version of you. It's revealing the one you've always been. And Aquarius, the world is about to find out what heaven has known all along. You were never lost. You were simply waiting to be called. Aquarius, this is the part where the stars stop speaking in riddles and start responding to you. For months you've been healing, shedding, upgrading, and now the cosmos finally matches your frequency. This is not luck. This is alignment. When the moon, emotion, merges with Venus, attraction, something rare happens. Your inner world and your outer world start speaking the same language. Emotion becomes magnetism, healing becomes power, and energy becomes the currency that destiny understands. This alignment recodes your timeline. Money, relationships, and opportunities will now respond to your true frequency. Everything that once resisted you now begins to recognize you. People who couldn't see your value before suddenly feel pulled toward your energy. Ideas that were once delayed suddenly find momentum. You'll feel it first as a shift. Small coincidences, quiet confirmations, new doors creaking open in the distance. Visualize this: the sky unfolding like a map of light, stars forming perfect triangles, symbols of divine geometry. You stand in the center, surrounded by radiant silver beams as time seems to slow. It's not a dream. It's your new timeline loading. For the first time in a long while, everything starts making sense. The closed doors, the painful delays, the quiet seasons, they were all recalibration points. The universe wasn't ignoring you. It was aligning the frequencies that match your divine coordinates. Aquarius, you are stepping into fate's magnetic zone, a space where energy replaces effort, where what's yours begins to flow without resistance, because now your emotions, intentions, and vibrations are synchronized. This alignment is also material. Expect abundance to respond to your emotional clarity. The clearer your energy, the faster your manifestations appear. Money will no longer be survival. It will be support. Love will no longer be distraction. It will be destiny. Friendships will no longer drain. They'll amplify. Because when Venus and the moon meet, everything shallow collapses and everything sacred accelerates. You'll notice certain people drifting away. Don't chase them. They're not rejecting you. Their frequency simply can't survive your altitude. Every ending in this alignment is actually a relocation. Heaven is moving you from what's familiar to what's fated. The universe is not rewarding you for your pain. It's matching you to your purpose. That's the secret of this chapter. The blessings arriving aren't random. They're responses. They're echoes of every tear you shed, every silent prayer you whispered when no one was listening. And now, the echo returns as evidence. Aquarius, your name will start appearing in unexpected places, new networks, new offers, divine connections. You'll feel magnetized to what's yours. No more chasing, no more convincing, no more begging for what already vibrates towards you naturally, because fate doesn't chase. It meets you when you finally vibrate at its level. You've reached that level now. The moon confirms your emotional balance. Venus amplifies your worth. And together, they ignite your destiny pairing, the moment where your internal frequency meets external recognition. Comment prompt. Comment, I'm aligned with my destiny, if you can feel this frequency sinking within you. And Aquarius, remember, this isn't random timing. You've passed the tests, cleared the energy, and chosen peace where chaos used to live. You've proven you can handle the blessings without losing yourself in the noise. Retention twist. The moment you stop asking, why me? The universe answers, because only you could. Because only you could carry this much transformation without turning bitter. Only you could walk through isolation and still radiate compassion. Only you could lose everything and still believe in light. That's why this alignment isn't just cosmic, it's personal. It's heaven saying, you're ready, let it flow. So take a deep breath. The triangle of fate is active, the code is unlocked, and the universe has officially synced to your frequency. Everything that's meant for you is now on its way, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, Aquarius. This is the moment the story flips. The season of misunderstanding ends here. The same world that once doubted your spirit will now witness your divine unveiling. You've spent years in silence, misunderstood, underestimated, even mocked for your depth. You've been called distant, strange, or too much. But what they didn't realize was that you were in the middle of a sacred transformation, a divine incubation. You weren't quiet because you were weak. You were silent because heaven was rewriting your script. Now that silence becomes your spotlight, the very thing they judged will become the reason they admire you. Those who once misjudged you will watch you glow in public grace. The same crowds that laughed at your silence will now quote your wisdom. It's a reputation reversal, not born of revenge, but of revelation. People will begin to see what only heaven saw when it chose you. You'll start to notice the shift. Your presence will feel magnetic. Your words will carry weight, and even your absence will echo with influence. Because Aquarius, this is the return of the real you, the one who no longer shrinks for comfort, the one who no longer hides brilliance to stay accepted, the one who no longer apologizes for their light. You've walked through betrayal and loss, but instead of breaking, you became rare. You learned how to shine quietly, how to rebuild without applause, how to trust your timing. And now, that quiet evolution becomes public evidence. Visual poetry. The moonlight reflects on your face like a soft halo. You stand on the same ground where you once fell, but this time you're glowing. Your silence hums with power. Your energy commands respect without demanding it. Every scar now looks like divine calligraphy, proof that pain has purpose. Aquarius, you didn't change. You finally became undeniable. You no longer need to prove your worth. Your alignment shows it. You no longer chase recognition. Your energy attracts it. You've turned every rejection into reflection, every insult into insight. And now, the universe is making sure everyone sees what it protected all along, the truth of who you are. Comment prompt, drop I'm stepping into my alignment if you feel this rebirth. Because this chapter isn't about revenge, it's about restoration. This is your public awakening. The energy that once repelled others now magnetizes miracles. The doors that once closed will now open before you even knock. The people who dismissed you will soon wonder how they ever overlooked you. And here's the twist that changes everything. Retention twist. Because this time, your authentic self is the magnet for miracles. You no longer have to perform, chase, or prove. Your truth is the attraction. Your calm is the confirmation. And your authenticity is the key that unlocks everything they tried to keep from you. the world finally aligns with your essence, not because you forced it, but because you owned it. The real you is not returning. The real you has arrived. Aquarius, take a deep breath. This is the moment your soul has been preparing for. The moon and Venus aren't just celestial bodies floating in the sky tonight. They're witnesses. They have watched every chapter of your journey. The nights you cried in silence, the mornings you rose without strength, the moments you kept believing when logic said, give up. They saw you survive every illusion, every betrayal, every false label, and now they stand as cosmic testimony to your endurance. Tonight, they crown you with clarity. The fog is lifting. The confusion is clearing. Everything that once didn't make sense suddenly fits like divine puzzle pieces snapping into place. You'll realize that you were never being punished. You were being prepared. The moon reflects your truth. Venus magnifies your worth. Together, they're rewriting your energy field, sealing the old version of you and activating the authentic signature of your soul. Your reflection will never look the same again because now it's glowing with purpose. Aquarius, the moon and Venus are not just planets tonight. They're witnesses. They watched you survive every illusion, every betrayal, every false label, so they could crown you with clarity. Everything that once broke you has become the reason you shine brighter. The gossip, the distance, the loneliness. They were heaven's way of isolating your frequency until it became untouchable. You were hidden, not forgotten, silenced, not defeated, misjudged, but divinely chosen. Final twist. They hid you in plain sight so that when you rise, no one can deny the divine signature on your name. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak, all of it carried coordinates to this night. This is the prophecy of revelation, where what was spiritual becomes visible, where the unseen becomes undeniable, and where you finally see that destiny was never delayed. It was timed to perfection. Look around you. Feel it. The atmosphere has changed. The vibration around your name is no longer resistance. It's recognition. The world is starting to catch up to the light that's been living inside you all along. You've passed every test. You've mastered emotional alignment. You've reclaimed your worth. And now, the universe is releasing what it's been holding for you. Love that aligns, opportunities that confirm, abundance that flows effortlessly. Because the more you stand in your truth, the more heaven accelerates your rewards. Promise of transformation. By the end of this portal, you won't just see your reflection, you'll see your revelation. You'll wake up feeling lighter, clearer, more powerful. The same reality that once drained you will now serve you. The same world that once overlooked you will now orbit around your energy. Because revelation always follows recognition. And you, Aquarius, are finally being recognized by heaven itself. So tonight, under this Moon-Venus alignment, speak it aloud. I'm done being who the world told me to be. I now remember who I am. Final call to action. Comment, my true identity is awakening, if you're ready for this Venus-Moon alignment. Like this video, share it with another Aquarius, and subscribe. Because the next prophecy reveals the 3 days after the alignment, when your destiny goes public. Aquarius, the stars have spoken. Your name is written in light. Your destiny has been verified. And your revelation begins now.